I'm ready for my math lesson, and today we're actually going to start over at this table with some supplies. So I have a piece of construction paper, a piece of yarn, and I have some different color paints. And I'm going to show you one of my favorite art projects when I was little. This was one of my favorite ones and I still remember it. And then I'll tell you how it plays into our math lesson. So the first thing I want to do is I want to take my construction paper and I want to fold it in half. And I know in one of your lessons you were supposed to be practicing folding things in half or sharing. Maybe it was a sandwich or sharing a cookie, but sharing it and cutting it in half. So in order to do a half, I'm going to fold it over and line up my edges. And now it's a half a piece of paper, and if I open it up, it would be a full sheet of paper. So I'm going to lay that out, and I'm going to take my yarn that I have, and I'm going to put it right in the crease. And I have some of my yarn overhanging the bottom half and some of my yarn overhanging the top half. Then I'm going to take my paint, and this just happens to be the paint I have at home, and I'm just going to put it over my yarn, just kind of some globs of paint so that it goes over the yarn. Oh, this one. Some of these paints haven't been used in a while, so we'll see how my project turns out. Now I'm going to fold my piece of paper. It's already knows how to fold because it's been on that crease. And I'm just going to push where I had my paint, and now I'm going to take my string, and I'm really going to hang on to where that string is, because I'm going to take that string and I'm going to pull it. And as I pull it, whatever I'm doing, I'm pulling it through. And it's going to leave paint onto my paper as I pull it through. All right, let's see what we created. Here is the art that I created. Oh, my paint's a little runny, so I'm gonna have to hold it like this. But what I wanted you to see, what we're working on today, is symmetry. And when we have symmetry, whatever you have on one side, you have on the other side. So when I had this piece of paper folded, if I cut it in half, whatever happened on this side is also going to happen on this side. So you can see here we have blue, okay? Here we have the red. Here we have the white, and we have some red lines in between it and green lines. So this is what symmetry looks like with an art project. I'm going to leave that to dry. And now I'm going to move over to my board over here. And we're going to continue to work with symmetry. So again, if I have shapes, if I take my triangle, if I cut my triangle down the middle, if I can fold this on this imaginary dotted line and they line up, that's going to be symmetry. If I have my rectangle, again, if I cut it down the middle, that's my imaginary line. If I fold that over and it's going to line up exactly, we would have symmetry. If I drew my rectangle like this and drew my imaginary line here, would there be symmetry? No, because when I fold my paper, they would not line up. So it's not cut right down the middle. So there's no symmetry there. All right, we're going to take, here's my butterfly. If I take that imaginary line and I cut it down the middle of my butterfly, will I have symmetry? I will, because when I take my butterfly, if I were to fold it in half, okay, it would line up. So you have your butterfly and it would line up. And when we have our butterflies, if you've ever looked at butterflies, or if we were in the classroom, I'd pull up butterfly pictures and put them up on my smartboard for you to see. Butterflies have symmetry. So if a butterfly had a circle on this wing, the butterfly would also have a circle on this wing in the exact same spot. If a butterfly had, let's say, a V shape underneath that circle, it would have to happen on both sides, because the butterfly is symmetry. When you cut that butterfly down the middle, you're going to have the same thing on each side of its wings. So if I had, let's say, a heart on this wing, I would have to have a heart on this wing. So whatever you do to your butterfly on one side, you need to do to your butterfly on the other side. And that's what we call symmetry. For a part of your lesson, it's to have a butterfly and to show me symmetry on your butterfly. Now here I had a butterfly template that I could print off and I could create my symmetry on. But if you don't have a butterfly template, you can always take a piece of paper and you can draw a butterfly. Well, let's think about how a butterfly is drawn. We need to have an oval. There's the butterfly's body. Now for its wing, okay, go to almost like a circle and then another smaller circle. And then you do the exact same thing on the other side. You have your circle and then your smaller circle. And so now you've drawn your butterfly and now you can create symmetry on it. So here were my two examples of symmetry. The butterfly that I was drawing on, and also the art project where we used our paint. These were our examples of symmetry. Have fun creating symmetry.